Hello all of you awesome people out there, and welcome back to another super awesome mega wicked cool video done by myself, Disowned Hero. And today I think I have found the most role specific ship in the whole of EVE Online. Now as we know, there's many ships out there which are kind of good for one thing and one thing only, but they can be fitted in several different ways. Let's just take the Magnate as a good example here. This thing is good for data and relic sites and pretty much nothing else, but if we simulate it, we can see that we do actually have high slots. We can put guns in there if we wanted. We can put miners, gas harvesters, we can put a nice sized tank and all sorts of good stuff on here, so it's not limited to what it's kind of rolled towards, but it doesn't really get used for much else. The ship I have found simply cannot be used for anything else other than what it's bonused towards. Let's have a quick look at what it actually is. And it is this ship here. It is the Zephyr, and it's kind of an exploration frigate which has a very, very unique role, which I have never really come across, but apparently it needed a ship of its own. So let's just get into it, shall we? If we have a quick look at the traits here, we can see that it can fit the prototype Iris probe launcher, which we'll get into in a moment, but it also will not be targeted by sleeper drones in wormhole space. So basically this thing is meant to go into wormholes, warp into any kind of sleeper site, and not be targeted. They won't even flinch, they won't even know you are there, and that is it. That's all this thing can do. And what I mean by that's all it can do is if we actually simulate it, we can see that we have no module slots whatsoever. We can't put rigs on this, can't put mids on this, lows. We've got one high, which is made for this prototype Iris probe launcher, and nothing else. To be honest, we can't even fit anything even if it had the slots there, because we have 0 CPU and we have 0 power grid. So this probe launcher, if we just have a quick look at the info on this, as it says, it's a system designed for this ship. Its tight integration allows it to work effectively with minimal power and CPU capacity the Zephyr can provide. But its non-standard interface means it cannot be used on any other ship, which is a bit of a shame, because actually every time you repackage this thing and then get into it again, you get one of these, and I can test that now by simply going into our ship hangar and repackaging this thing. I've got to leave it first. And where is it? There it is, repackage. So we repackage that now, it's completely empty. As you know, if you repackage something, all mods and rigs, everything gets taken off. And then if we open it up again and jump into it, we get this one. We get that probe launcher back, which is always handy. So you can never lose this thing, which is cool. You never have to buy one. It's just always there. And in fact, you can even stack them up if you wanted. I have 3 of them here now because I was testing this before. But yeah, you can't sell them on the market. You can put them in contracts, but since they can't be used on any other ship but this, and this gets one every time you repackage it, I'm pretty sure they're not going to sell. So let's have a little chat about this actual ship and what it can be used for. Well, like it says, it can go into wormholes. Obviously, it's got the probe scanner to scan them down, and it can go into sleeper sites and not be detected. That's it. That's great. That is the bottom line. That's all it can do. Now, the only reason I could think you'd want this is if maybe you were doing the higher end combat sites and you wanted to have someone in there to maybe, I don't know, set locations for where each group is before you warp in. Maybe tell you what's in there if you haven't done your research beforehand. Or if you're doing the data or relic sites, maybe you could send it in to bookmark all of the cans. So you can have someone simply warp straight to the can, get the loot, get out, warp to another can, get the loot, get out. You know, that's pretty much it. That's all this thing can do. It can't even defend itself. It has a very, very minimal tank. We just open up the fitting again. Very, very minimal tank. Not even that good a line time and warp speed really compared to some other things. It costs 62 million. We've got no skins or nothing for it. And yeah, that's it. That's a Zephyr. I really don't know what to say about this ship since it's so limited in what it can do. We do actually have a little bit of a cargo capacity here. But that's it. That's all this thing can be used for. I think we actually need to buy probes for this, do we? Yeah, we do need to actually buy our own probes, so we don't get probes with it. That's why we'll have 10 M3 down here. But that's it. So let's take it into a wormhole, shall we? And see exactly how this thing does. It's a nice looking ship, actually, before we do actually leave. It's a completely unique design to absolutely anything else I've seen. Obviously, because it has no mods on it, you don't need to worry about having little hard points where turrets and that can stick out. So it's very, very small. This little tiny kind of shuttle almost. Probably smaller than a pod, so I'm not actually sure how you'd get in this thing. We've got these 2 huge solar sails as well. So I'll undock now. I'll actually get myself some probes if I haven't. Or buy some probes if I haven't got any here. No, I'll buy some probes, we'll find a wormhole, and we'll jump into some sleeper sites. Alright, so I just realised halfway through scanning this system down that I can actually just look under the anomalies and go to sleeper site there. So that's exactly what we're doing. So let's just see exactly what happens when we warp in with this ship. And I'm pretty sure that nothing is going to happen whatsoever. It's going to warp in. All the NPCs are just going to sit around, chilling, having a cup of tea, doing whatever they're doing. And we'll be able just to scout about, bookmark things as and when we wish. So here we are. These are emergents. Are they sleepers? Pretty sure they're sleepers, aren't they? Soon find out anyway. None of them seem to be coming towards me, which is nice. Let's just head towards them. What's our max speed in this ship? 215. So also very kind of slow. Now they are... Nope, still not coming towards us. Nothing's locking us up, which is nice. I'm pretty sure these towers here should be able to get us at quite a far off range. Is there anything we can warp to, which is maybe a little bit closer? No, nothing there really, is there? Sometimes you can warp to the other side, through these debris kind of things. Alright, so we'll just we'll fast forward time here a bit, and we'll slowly sneak forwards and just see if anything actually attacks us. Alright, so we are definitely now within the realms of being targeted if we were in a normal ship. And nothing, they're quite happily still just orbiting. I mean, this little frigate here is going nuts, just kind of following some sort of little path he's created for himself. Nothing's locking us up here. I mean, obviously we have to watch out for other players, but other than that, we are completely safe inside of this little combat site. Now, I would, in theory, now be free to bookmark things up, let anyone know. Maybe I've got a fleet of people waiting to come in. Obviously, this will be for the higher level ones, not maybe this one. But I could tell people that there's this amount of ships in here. They're in 2 groups, they're in 3 groups. They're here. We've got these types of towers and stuff. And it looks like we're just going to bump this one here just to make sure that we are definitely not going to be targeted by anything. So we'll be physically interacting with them. I mean, he's having a little bit of a freak out there. He's like, oh no, something's coming towards me. Boing. Not even a boing, we just kind of passed right through him, yeah. So we are definitely 100% safe from the NPCs in here. So like I said, we can start bookmarking things up. We could relay intel back. If this was a data or relic site, we could start right-clicking things and be like, okay, let's bookmark this thing. Let's bookmark this thing. If we had lots of people waiting to come in, maybe this was like a C5, C6 wormhole, which is a really difficult site to do, possibly. We could have half the fleet warp in here to take this thing straight out, half thing to warp over here to take this thing straight out. And maybe run it a bit quicker, a bit smoother. I'm not quite sure. If anyone actually uses one of these for something, then please write in the comments down below and let me know exactly what you use it for, because right now I can't think of anything. I can't check any... Oops, wrong one. I can't check any containers because I haven't got the cargo scanner. I can't use EWAR on anything, so it can't be helpful during combat. I can't actually do any of the mini games for the cans, so I'm at a bit of a loss at what this thing is actually used for. I mean, it looks cool. Definitely when you see the effects on the solar sails and stuff, it is definitely, I think anyway, obviously beauty's in the eye of the beholder, but I think this is a nice quirky looking ship. It's just extremely pointless unless you actually have some intended need to go into sleeper sites and not be attacked and just sit here doing nothing. So yeah, that is the Zephyr. Now before we go, like we said, it can only fit the prototype Iris probe launcher, but let's just have a look and compare it to the sisters one. Now, this is a 30 million ISK probe launcher, probably one of the best in the game in my opinion. It's just, well, it's just quite cool. Now we can't actually fit this on the Zephyr because we have no power grid or CPU, so we couldn't fit it. And I've had a quick spy actually to see what the differences are, and all I can see is that the activation time and duration for the Iris probe launcher is only 7.22 seconds, whereas the sisters core probe launcher is a full, there we go, full 10 seconds. So it's got a few seconds on the activation time. That's pretty much it. This is classed as a meta level 6, whereas the Iris which we're using is only a meta level 4. Gets no bonuses which I can see towards anything scan related. I mean, this one has a 10% bonus to scan strength, so it's not as good on the scanning side. Everything else is the same, capacity is the same, reload time's the same, structure and all that exactly the same. We just don't get any bonuses whatsoever other than what the probes give us. Now, when I was actually using this ship to scan things down, I did find that it was a little, I wouldn't say difficult. There was maybe 2 signatures in like the 3 or 4 systems I jumped through, which I just couldn't find, no matter how big or small I made the scan radius, like probe size. I just couldn't seem to scan them down, and that could be down to the fact that the ship, compared to like the probe or any other scanning ship, doesn't actually have any bonuses towards scanning at all. See, no traits here towards scanning. Got a nice little description there if you want to pause now. You can have a quick read through that if you want. All the attributes, as we can see, we have basically no tank whatsoever, a few resists, but they're kind of meaningless when you only have 120 HP in shield. And what's our armor on this thing? We have 187 in armor as well, so pretty kind of pointless. I mean, the signature radius 25, that seems rather low. Could be wrong, I actually haven't got anything to compare it to. In fact, let's just compare it to, say, let's just get rid of that. Where's my Astero? What's that come under? Frigates? Let's just pick any frigate. In fact, there it is. What's that like compared to the Astero? What is the scan resolution on this thing? Scan radius is, say, 620. What was it for this thing? Signature radius, sorry, that's what I'm looking for. Signature radius. So there's signature radius 35, right? So it's not even like it's going to be really hard to lock one of these things up. You could probably lock it up about the same speed as you could in the Astero. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. You know, is this a really cool ship which everyone's used and I just haven't figured out what the hell it's used for, or is it something that's a little bit gimmicky, a little bit quirky, and has no real use in EVE Online? Let me know. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you right here very soon in another video. Bye-bye. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button as well to get some more game guides, how-tos, let's plays, and live streams from myself. I also think you should check out this video just up here, but if that one doesn't interest you, then try this one. Other than that, guys, take it easy, and I'll see you soon.